Hello everyone, my name is Roy Cornwall. It is the 22nd of May at 2:30 in the afternoon. And I'm gonna I'm gonna name this one called TR3B. Now the TR3B is a propulsion for um, it's for a intergalactic spaceship. We back engineered this since Roswell in '47, and we have our own style of TR3B. It's not an alien ship we're using, it's our own ship, but we've implemented their propulsion into our craft. A TR3B, and when you look at it, it looks like essentially a triangle. Uh, it's black. Um, it has I forget the name for this right now. There's a scientific term for this, but it's a circle, like a donut. And inside this circle rotates a specific plasma that is highly pressurized, super cooled down to 100 degrees Kelvin or something like that. And it's spinning at an unbelievable rate. And when they implement element 115, which is not found on Earth, we have to make it or steal it. So 115 is an element when they inject it into that rotating plasma, it creates a type of an energy that is, because spinning, goes out to each point on the triangle. And on each point of the triangle there's a gravity generator. It's probably a 1 foot tube, about 2 feet tall, and it swings, and you can swing this thing anywhere you want, like this, right? Um, uh, they point two of these down to the ground for stability, and it raises this propulsion system can either push or pull, either one. So the two point down to the ground push, and it levitates the craft up. Now, because gravity isn't stable, it fluctuates. Uh, in one country, it may be a little more or less, or you fly level across the ground, and you're going to go into different gravity waves type, where it's stronger in one spot and weaker in another. So the craft looks essentially unstable. It's like this almost. Um, so when you look at this thing, you see a black triangle, and on each corner there's a white light, and that's where with a dome, and inside that dome is where this gravity generator is, and it's got this red donut with plasma circulating. Now a lot of people mistake this to be a flashing red light. It's not flashing. What it is the plasma goes around the other side of the donut, and you don't see it because this side of the donut's in the way. And then it comes back around, so it goes flash, flash, flash. Unless you're directly underneath it and you look up, then you're going to see the rotating plasma. Now, we back engineered this from Roswell, but our craft looks different than their craft. Their craft is basically a triangle, but they have absolutely huge and massive craft of spaceships. The, if you see a black triangle spaceship with this TR3B system on it, and it's huge, it's not ours. We build them, but we build them smaller, and we got two fit tails, like a tail on an airplane. Only we have two on ours. The black, I think they call it a mantis. Now, uh, this is cutting edge technology, and not a lot of people know about this. So, okay, there it is. Told you about the TR3B, but there's another level to this that absolutely nobody talks about. Um, when the TR3B is in use, okay, when they're using it, this thing can go faster than your eyesight. right? If it's standing still and it takes off, you're not going to see in which direction it goes in, because it's going so quick. And everybody wonders how come the beings that are inside this thing don't die from inertia, them slamming up against walls, or G-force, 100 times G-force on their body because of the turn. And the reason for that is this: is that when this TR3B is operational, it puts that craft in a distortion, in a distortion. And what this means is that nothing in our world can affect it when this thing is operational in their world. They can go in a straight line, make like 1,000,000 miles an hour, and make an absolute right-hand turn without killing the occupants, because inside their ship it looks just like this room I'm in here now. Nothing changes. It's inside the distortion. G-force, inertia, none of that affects this craft because it's in the distortion. This craft can go into our deepest oceans. The water and the pressure of the water won't affect it because it's in this distortion. It can go in outer space. Uh, you can shoot a bullet at it, it'll go right clean through it and out the other side because it's in a distortion. Nothing affects it when it's in this distortion. And that's how people don't die when this thing's making right-hand turns and stuff, okay? So what I want to give you here now is, I have no proof of this, no proof, but I can infer where we're going with this. We got the craft, we back engineered it, we have our own craft now, and I'm pretty sure there's more than one of them. That's what the Space Force exists of, is a TR3 Black Manta. But there's another aspect to this. I believe that a segment of the black projects, everything's so compartmentalized, that one section of that black project people doesn't know what the other section's doing. And one of these sections has taken the TR3B drive system and they've put it in buildings all over the world. I would think that there's more than one in the United States, more than one in Canada, but the smaller countries maybe I only have one. But they're all spread out all over the world, I believe. And the reason why they've put this TR3B system on Earth in a building, well, they can keep it quiet, they can keep the people away, put security on it and everything. But think of it, if they lit all of these TR3Bs up at one time, it would put the Earth in a distortion. Nothing would affect the Earth. If there was a meteorite coming, they'd start this machine up and put us into the distortion, and the meteorite would go right clean through the Earth and out the other side, and nothing would happen to us. Nothing. They could also use this to move the Earth. Don't forget, it's a propulsion system. I've sort of overjumped myself. The way this system works is on a TR3B black triangle. What they do is they use two to raise it up, and then you put one out in front. And the one out in front, it's like falling into a hole. But instead of falling down, you fall sideways into that hole. It's a gravity hole. And the stronger the gravity hole, the more faster you're going to fall into this. Now, in Earth, it's two down and one to pull. But in space, all three pull it for unbelievable speeds. Okay, so back to having these things on Earth. If they did put these things all over and put the Earth into distortion, they could actually move the Earth. They'll put a satellite system up there that would replace the sun. You know, the same thing. One side of the Earth would be dark and the other side wouldn't. We'd have our own lighting system, and we could move the Earth anywhere we want. If we did it slow, Earth is in the distortion, we're not going to lose our gravity, our air, the water won't slosh around, nothing. and we could move this thing through to another location, away from the danger. Um, I believe Bob Lazar's telling the truth when he talks about this topic. I believe Edgar Fouché he's I believe he's a NASA scientist. I believe he's telling the truth on this. Um, TR3B gravity system. Uh, Put it on Earth to protect the Earth from anything, even alien attack. We wouldn't have to move it, just put it in the distortion, let them fire whatever they got, it'll go one through one side and out the other. Now, okay, there are other things, but I don't want to go too far into this right now. I want to keep this one rather short. But people lose their interest if it gets too long. But we have the TR3B. I've seen one go across the sky. I saw a TR3B go, I think it was a black man, just go across the sky so fast, it should have broken the sound barrier 3 or 4 times over. When I was a kid, I was out in recess in the public school playing, and I saw a black man just come over. The arrow come over. I saw this, and it came over so fast it broke the sound barrier. So I know how fast a plane has to go in the sky before it breaks the sound barrier, right? And this black mantis that I saw go across the sky, it came from the northwest down to the southeast on an angle across Toronto, Ontario. Uh, it should have broken the sound barrier 3 or 4 times over. It was silent. No engine sound, no nothing, right? So it's out there. This is what we're making our space force out of. This is where the $2.8 trillion from Donald Rumsfeld says is missing. That's where it went. It went into the black projects to start our space force. They started it first before they told the public about it because they want that gap. They don't want the public to know where the space force is at in technology, because you can't tell us anything that the aliens aren't going to know. So, and that's another thing. That's why there's such a blackout right now. All the governments don't even want to recognize that aliens exist. Why? Not because they don't believe aliens don't exist, but because if they say they exist, we're going to want more. And any data they give us, the aliens are going to know this is war. We're at war, and you don't tell anybody who could tell the enemy anything. You blacklist that fella, which is the public, and you don't tell them anything. And that's why we made the Space Force, because we are at war. So it's a war that we're not fighting anywhere near Earth, because we have these TR3Bs. They can go, we'll probably fight in a war way out on the other side of the galaxy or something. The only ones that get by our system are rogue UFO alien people that come to Earth, and they take humans, they take cows, they take elk out of the bush. They come to any intelligent space-faring people are not out in the outer space crossing the galaxies to find new nice people. There's only one reason why they're out there doing that. Well, actually, there's two reasons, but the main one is to steal whatever they can take. If they come across a civilization that's lower and they got something we want, they're going to take it, right? And the aliens are not out in space to make friends. They're there to take. And that's why they're there. And the other reason why they're in outer space is because a flower comes out of if this is the ground level, and a flower comes up out of the ground like that, turns its petals towards the sun for a time, and then wilts and dies. That process happens to humanity and anything that lives. Trees, fish, birds, doesn't matter. Everything follows that procedure, including the aliens. And they go out into space for two reasons: to see what they can steal, and to see whether there's knowledge out there to overcome this process. They don't. This is why when you see the little gray aliens, they're, they're beings that are right at the end. The flowers come up and they're starting to wither and die. That's why they don't look right, because they're withering and dying. Right? So they're out looking for what they can get, and a way to take to solve this paradox of growing and dying, growing and dying. Okay? So yeah, there's a lot happening up there right now, and uh, I believe that one day, already now, I mean, all the spaceships that came here in the 50s and the early 60s, they were about the width of a road. The Benny Barty Hill episode, they landed down the road in front of them. That implies that it's the width of the road. Now, in the Phoenix Lights, these things were like 2 miles wide. I myself saw a mothership. Okay, I'm coming down south on the 400 highway into Toronto, and there's two people, a man and a woman in the front seat who didn't believe in aliens, and I've been trying to convince them. Well, just before you get to Toronto, there's tall buildings, right? Concrete buildings, and you can't see the horizon. All you see is the buildings, right? But just before you get there, I look out the right window, and I see a mothership. It's huge. It goes from Lakeshore Boulevard up past the 401 on Dixie Road, right? So I said to everybody in the front seat, I said, "What's that?" And they didn't look left first or out the window. What? Look, no, they didn't do that. They both looked exactly right at it. I think they may have seen it prior to me saying something to them. I said, "What's that?" And there's no answer. And the reason why there's no answer is because any sufficient spacefaring people that have the knowledge to come across to our planet have what I call a beam. It's not a flashlight beam. It's something you don't feel, you don't see it. Well, okay, you can feel it physically. It's a very subtle thing, right? But that's the reason why it's subtle, is because they want you, if you're driving down the road and you look out your window and you see the spaceship, they beam you. You're going to go back to driving. Have I got enough gas? Am I on the right road? When will I get there? Think of anything other than that. It makes you want to go back to doing what you were doing. This is why people don't pick up the camera and take pictures. I had the camera in my hand and I never thought of taking a picture, because you were being beamed, my friend. You have to realize when you see something like that they're beaming you, because you can't really tell too much, right? So if they're beaming you, you can overcome that by concentrating. Pull over, look at this spaceship. Don't take your eyes off it. Talk in your mind, saying, "I'm seeing what I'm seeing. Look, there's lights on either end of it," or whatever, or beams, or whatever they're doing. Concentrate. That seems to be a way to overcome this beaming effect. Now, yeah, any sufficient intelligent species has this. And just while we're on that topic, there's a multitude of beings coming here. I had an alien, because I've been taken a number of times, and I got really mad this one time, and I just sort of beat it out of me. I said, "Well, what are you guys doing here?" And to my amazement, he came over and told me. He says, "Earth is like a gas station or a bus stop." And that sort of rang true to me. He says when you're in the suburbs in your car, you don't put your foot to the floor and do 100 mile an hour. You're going to hit something. You wait till you get on the highway so you can go quick and safety, right? And this is what the aliens do. Earth is out the end of one of these spiraling arms, right? And they launch from there out the end to the next galaxy over, to the next solar system over. Earth has got water, food, everything. Fix your ships. There are bases here where they fix their ships. Now, good aliens can come here. We won't fight them with our Space Force, but there are some bad ones, and that's what the Space Force is for. So, there's so much to talk about this, but I just wanted to let you know that I think that the next step is they're going to put this TR3B in buildings to protect the earth and to be able to move it if necessary. People didn't believe about the TR3B, triangle craft. But people are seeing them all over they're all over the YouTube. It's that secret's out. It's the next secret that I talk about here. So, people, I implore you, use your senses like the Starship Enterprise. They got long-range sensors in your mind. You got them too. Turn them on full and leave them all the time. When you're in your living room and everything's fine and you're just looking in the kitchen living room, turn your senses on. Listen outside. When you're outside and you go for a walk with the dog, look up, scan the whole sky. Do that every time you take the look. If you want to see an alien, implement it into your regular routine. You're on the way to work, before you get in the car to go to work in the morning, look up. Come back, lock the car up, look up. Implement it into your routine, and one time you're going to get to a point where you're fed up with doing this, and you just do it one more time, and there it is. It's going to be there. The other way you can see is through military-grade night vision goggles, phase 2 goggles. Put yourself a lawn chair there, go around a pair of these, lie in a lawn chair, look up, and you're going to see them. They're up there, they're making maneuvers, they're active up there because they're coming to this planet and back. Out and back and forth. Oh, and by the way, the moon is hollow. There's bases in that moon. The reason why that base is there and the moon is there so we can supply them with whatever they need. They come from the moon to Earth to go shop, and they go back. That's another reason why we're seeing a lot of these things. So, check out what I've said. Don't believe me. Try to do some research on this TR3B and ask yourself, do you think he's right? Okay, my name is Roy Cornwall, and blessings, everyone. Bye-bye.